Hi everyone, this is a revision video of the correct use of micropipettes. You will have already used micropipettes in your first year classes, but they're something that you will use throughout your degree, so it's really important that you know how to use them correctly. So these are the pipettes that you are likely to see in your prac classes here at the Wait. They come in a range of different volumes. The smallest being 0.5 to 10 microlitres, 5 to 50 microlitres, 50 to 200 microlitres and 200 to 1000 microlitres. You will also come across this larger pipette, which is a 1000 to 5000 microlitre pipette. So let's have a look at the pipettes and the different parts of them. So first of all, we have the plunger here. So this can be depressed to allow liquid to be drawn into a pipette tip and then depressed again to eject that, to expel that solution into a new vessel. You'll feel when you pick up the pipette that there are two stops. The first stop you use to draw solution into the tip, and the second is used to make sure that you expel all the solution out of the tip. The plunger is also used to set the volume that the pipette will deliver, and you do that by winding the top. Be very careful not to wind above the maximum or below the minimum range of the pipette, because you can break it. You also have this button here, which is the tip ejector button. And as you can see, when you press it down, it pushes this blue part of the pipette down and pushes a tip off the end. The tip is attached firmly to this black part here. So let's have a look at the different tips that you will need to use. We have the yellow tips, which go on the smaller pipettes, the 0.5 to 10, 5 to 50 and 50 to 200 microlitres. And then the blue tips, which go on the 200 to 1000 microlitres. And then finally we have clear tips, which go on the larger 1000 to 5000 microlitre pipette. These tips are often not in a container, they're just in a beaker. You will notice that your tip boxes often have a piece of masking tape with stripes across. When that is unbroken, that means that the tips are sterile. So when you are using the tips, make sure that you open and close the lid quickly after having selected a tip. And if your tips spill onto the bench, and it's important for you to have sterile tips, then you should ask a demonstrator for a new box. So let's go through an example of pipetting a solution. So I want to pipette 0.5 mils of a solution. So the first thing I need to do is select the correct pipette. And before I do that, I need to convert 0.5 mils into microlitres, because all the volumes of the pipettes are in microlitres. So 0.5 mils. Now you will remember that there are 1000 microlitres in 1 mil. So to convert 0.5 mils into microlitres, all I need to do is to multiply my 0.5 by 1000, and that equals 500 microlitres. So now that I know that, I can select my pipette. So I need to select the 200 to 1000 microlitre pipette, and then I need to use the dial to dial up the correct volume. So I need to wind that until I see 500 in the window, being careful not to go above or below the range. Then I need to firmly attach a tip and get my vessel, which I'm going to place my solution in, ready. Then I need to depress the plunger before I put the tip into the solution to the first stop. Immerse the tip halfway into the solution and then gently and steadily allow the solution in to the tip. Place the tip on the side of the vessel that you are putting solution into, and again slowly and steadily depress to the first stop and then all the way to the second stop. And then I will dispose of my tip into the waste bucket. So let's repeat that with 1,000 microlitres, just so that we can see the difference in volume. So I need to select 1,000 microlitres, which of course is the equivalent of 1 ml, and I need to attach a tip, and we'll use green solution this time. So I depress the plunger to the first stop, immerse the tip, slowly and steadily allow the solution in. And we'll get my tube ready. Tip on the side of the tube, slowly and steadily to the first stop and then all the way to the second stop. And I can dispose of my tip. And then hopefully you can see on there that the green solution is double the volume of the red solution, which is a really good indicator that we have actually pipetted the volume that we were hoping to pipette. So just to revise some quick do's and don'ts of pipetting, do always hold the pipette upright. Do attach a tip before you put your pipette into the solution and make sure that it's the correct tip and that it is attached firmly. Do eject the tip into the waste bucket, and you can do that using the ejector and therefore without touching the tip. Don't lie your pipette down on the bench, especially when it has a tip attached. Partly the tip will then not be sterile, and also if there is fluid in that tip it can go up into the body of the pipette. Certainly do not hold your pipette upside down, and be careful not to wind the plunger above the maximum or below the minimum volume set for that pipette. So, happy pipetting!